Hey everyone, welcome back to a new Wizard101 video. So I've been thinking a lot about what kind of updates we're getting for Wizard really soon. And the foremost one is going to be the update that I think is coming out later this month. And that involves the tunnel that is in Olde Town. That's why I'm over here. So we all know that there's dialogue that goes with it. I already did that on Testrom back when that was out and people were discovering that. So we know that there's something down there, and I wanted to kind of theorize what that could be in this video. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about in this video is, are we due for another big dungeon? I know other people have talked about this, but I don't think I have in a video. Maybe I mentioned it, but I never made its own video about this. Are we due for another Darkmoor type of dungeon? Because I was looking at it, and Darkmoor came out a long time ago. That was 2014 when we got the 4 dungeons. So we're 4 years since the release of Darkmoor, so probably due for something like that. I want to talk about that too. But let's go ahead and get started over here with the Olde Town mystery with the new landscapers and Renee and all that. I've already listened to the dialogue, so if you want to listen to that, I've got a different video on it. Or you can just go in the game yourself and stand over here and listen to them talk. But basically they're saying that there's something going on, and this hole appeared while they were working on stuff, and they're not sure what it is. So I'm guessing that soon we're going to be able to go down there and discover it, because they said that they wanted to send a wizard down there anyway. And well, who's gonna what kind of wizard are they gonna send down there? Probably us. So that is the story behind that. We don't have too much information about it, but Tom did say in the Cat Live last month that he was hoping it would have been able to release last month, but something happened and it got delayed, and it's probably coming out this month in August. So I feel like what's going to happen is during KI Live, they're going to just release this, which makes me feel like it's not that big of a thing. But I have high hopes for it because I picture what it could be like underground Wizard City. I mean, think about it. The entirety of Wizard City, if you look at the map, all of that, who knows what's underground there? Who knows? There could be anything. There could be a sewer system, which we've seen before in Pirate a lot. And even recently in Imperia, we've gone underground to the sewers where those robots were. And in Pirate, we go in the sewers all the time. They go in the sewers in Pirate just to sneak into a castle. I remember that part in, what was it, Marleybone or something like that? Or the Marleybone area of Skull Island. So we do that all the time in Pirate. I hope it's not sewers because, I mean, I feel like we've done that a lot in the King's Isle games. I'm hoping it's something else, and other people have speculated on what it could be, but I'm hoping not sewers. I'm hoping something cool. Maybe there's other kind of species that live down there, some type of magical creatures that live underground. That'd be cool. Or maybe, you know what I really feel like it's going to be is some type of lore into the early days of Wizard City. I feel like we're going to get some type of background on it, which is going to be interesting because we don't know that much. I mean, we know the main quest line and some of the the side quests, but the actual lore about the old history of Wizard City, that'd be cool to get something like that. I feel like that's like the best that we're gonna get out of it, is if it goes into that, into detail, and we kind of discover some of the past of Wizard City, because that's probably gonna be down there underground. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. And if it's anything like that, then I'll be happy. If there's some kind of, boss or something, that'd be cool too. I hope it's not a gold key or anything like that. I hope it's just a regular boss. But what level is it going to be? Is it going to be an easy one because it's in Olde Town in Wizard City? Or is there going to be different? This is why they do the key bosses, because then it kind of separates it. It's like, okay, wooden key is kind of easy, stone key's in the middle, and then gold key is like higher level. That's why they've done that. So it could be key bosses, and I feel like it would be lower level though, since it is in Wizard City. But we'll see. So that is hopefully coming out later this month with KI Live. That would be my guess, is they show it during KI Live and then they kind of flip the switch, because that's how they've done all these Renee quests. This is basically a Renee quest, and they flip the switch during KI Live and we're able to explore it and see what it is. So that is something that I'm definitely looking forward to later this month. If it doesn't happen later this month, then even later than that. But I feel like August is a good time to release it, because they don't want to push that into the 10th anniversary in September. So that's my hopes. That's kind of what I think is going on with that. Maybe some lore into the early days of Wizard City, which that's all I can hope for with it. So that's coming out really soon. The other thing is the Darkmoor. Some people were theorizing that that hole in the ground, underground, could be the entrance to a new dungeon or something like that for max levels. And I don't know. I don't feel like they would do a new Darkmoor at level 125, because if it comes out this month, we're only level 125. We're not, level 130 yet or anything like that. And I don't feel like they would do a whole tier of new gear for level 125. I feel like they would wait until level 130 and then be like, okay, it's been a long time since Darkmoor. We haven't had a big dungeon like that with all the gear in it for a while. Then they release the next dungeon for max level with actual good gear. Because Darkmoor gear has been a staple for a long time. I've used that gear so much on basically all my characters. It's still good. My Storm uses that robe because it's the best in the game. And I'm sure some pieces of Darkmoor are still the best for other schools. And it's just been what people have used forever. And if we got the next tier of that, I feel like it's about time. Because, and I could see it happening at level 130, not at 125. So level 130, we get Imperial Part 2. I don't really feel like they're going to have any crazy, maybe they do. Maybe the next Darkmoor is at the end of Imperial Part 2. And we get gear after that. Because Medulla didn't really have gear. There is the Cabal's gear, which is good. But I feel like it's an intermediate step because it's not the overall best gear. It's just like the crit and damage gear. I want that overall best gear. Basically the next step up from what we have for Darkmoor. But then it's like, okay, I mean, we're going to have insane damage if the damage goes up and everything, because we already have the pass gear, which is pretty good. Storms can get 150 damage now and 100% crit. Are they just going to allow us to continue to scale up and get insane damage and all that stuff? And that's completely up to them. I don't know. I don't know if they're ever going to balance the game where they kind of reduce stats for everyone to kind of scale it down so that we're not getting up to like 200% damage, because that would be crazy. But I don't know. That's something that we're just going to have to wait and see on. Do I want a new Darkmoor? Yeah, I think it would be pretty cool. Honestly, how I would want to set it up, and I don't know if a lot of people would agree with this, but just for like the more of a challenge with gear is, what if one piece of gear was dropped from each boss in this new dungeon? That would make it, honestly, that might make it a little easier for people going for things, because that's kind of how Waterworks was set up. But what if different places in the dungeon, each boss drops a specific item for you? Hat, boots, robe, a thame, something like that, ring. What if each one had different drops that were good for that school, and it would drop every school ring or every school a theme, whatever, and that's who you would farm. So if you needed this, you would only farm up to them and you'd be good. But I guess that could be bad, because then people would be skipping out on the last fight if they didn't need that piece of gear. So there's always good and bad of all that. I feel like that would be kind of cool, but I'm sure other people wouldn't like it. Or maybe they just do it where it's not all in the same dungeon. It's kind of split up over a couple dungeons, but they probably wouldn't do a couple dungeons. So those are just my ideas for it. I feel like we should be getting a new one at some point, but I don't know when. It might be 5 years after Darkmoor came out before we finally get one. That would be 2019. From 2014 to 2019, we finally get like the next staple gear. Even though you can't say that we haven't been getting gear, because we do. We have been getting gear. We've gotten the Mimic. We've gotten, I don't think I have any of that gear on here, do I? I've got the Mimic Ring. We've gotten the Mimic Rings. They've really been going into crit and damage with our gear sets. So we've gotten Mimic Rings. We've gotten the Cabal's gear for every school. We've gotten the Revered weapons. I haven't crafted on my life, but we've gotten those. And I don't think we've gotten any new themes recently. But we've actually been getting gear, so it's not like we haven't had anything for a long time. But it's just that, like, main tier. Like, I always tell this to people in my gear videos when I was doing that guide, that the main tiers of gear starts at Mount Olympus, and then usually it goes to Waterworks, and then honestly I skip Tartarus. I just go straight for Darkmoor. Those are like the main 3 dungeons with great gear for every school. So what if it went Mount Olympus level 30, Waterworks level 60, Darkmoor level 100, and then the new one at level 130? I feel like that'd be pretty cool. That would make sense. So 30 levels, 30 levels to Waterworks, and then 40 levels to Darkmoor, and then another 30 for the new one, level 130. I don't know. That's just kind of how in my head it makes sense, and it'd be cool if it went that way. But completely up to King's Isle. If they want to keep it how it is, then we could keep using the same gear. But Imperial Part 2 could change things up. And if the last dungeon... I mean, this is the end of Imperia, right? This is the culmination of Part 1, which we've already fought Medulla, defeated him. And what's coming in Part 2. We could definitely have a dungeon at the end of that gives gear. Do I kind of want a side dungeon? Yeah, I really want like a side kind of world with a dungeon too. But we'll see what happens. So there you go. Those are all my thoughts on everything. Hope it kind of made sense. But a lot of things coming down the line this year with... I mean, people always ask me what updates are coming out for Wiz soon. Well, here you go. We've got this one with the hole in the ground, and which I feel like isn't going to be huge. I mean, I hope I'm surprised by it. If they want to make it something way bigger than what I'm thinking, that'd be awesome. But I don't feel like it's going to be that big of a deal, but maybe it will set up for something bigger. And then also, of course, Imperial Part 2 is going to be coming out. And the 10th anniversary, who knows what they're going to do for that. That'll be coming out in September. So a lot of things coming down the line. Just take some time to be able to finally get around to those. But for the most recent one, this is going to be coming out probably this month. Don't quote me, but I feel like it's a good chance. So that's going to do it. Hope that was some good insight, some good theories for everything that could be happening for Wizard101 in the future. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you agree with any of that stuff, if you want the next tier of gear to come out for level 130, or if you're good with where it's at, or also what you think that the Olde Town Secret actually is. So thank you guys for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. I'll see you all next time.